Morning, everybody. Michelle is here on this Sunday, October the 29th, 2023, in the place to be, baby. I hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificent, and marvelous because I am. I'm up on my favorite day of the week, Sunday. But, all of these days are becoming my favorites because you know what? They don't mean a goddamn thing. How about that? But anyway, just having fun. There's meaning in everything. And that's why I wanted to get up this morning because something was popping in my mind and kind of go in a little bit more about love. Okay, I just want to go in a little bit more about it. And let you know the complexities of it when you attempt to put it in words and attempt to, teach people what love is and this and that and the other. And how I tell you that's somewhat impossible to do because love is evolution. So it is all based on the process and the evolution of your consciousness and where you are in that development. Now, a lot of people will come forward and attempt to explain love to you, and that's fine. Just allow people to talk about stuff. Same thing about happiness and anything else. Just allow them to speak because everyone has the right to express themselves and give their thoughts and opinions. Okay, it doesn't mean anything more than that, any more differently than me and others. Because you have to, as whatever people call themselves, it always comes back to the individual person, regardless. Okay, and a lot of people are not walking the talk. That's obvious, right? All you have to do is look at the results of everything. Results of a planet that has nothing but love for us. But yet, have we returned that type of love? Look around. You decide. So, and I told you we were made out of love. We were created out of love. No more differently than any other form of bonding, so to speak. And so I was looking at it over, looking at certain things I was taught about love and how it's a process. Okay, it's a process. It's someone posted on some of the websites that I visit, or a website that's heavily into the discussions and conversations about about Billy Meyer in particular, but all there's other philosophers that are focused on and talked about. But something was written and something was pointed out in 2012. It says one can talk or write about love, but it has no meaning to the reader or listener unless something within the reader or listener is awoken or recognized as actual. Okay, for example, in other words, we can talk about it until the cows come home. What love is. And I always say that I know what love is, but I don't usually go into detail. I say I know what love is because it was modeled for me. Okay, and I usually don't go into any more detail than that because I know that it's a development, it's a process. You can talk about it all you want, but it's an action and a behavior, and the results speak for themselves. So that's why I can say, based on my experiences and my knowledge gathering and going through, walking the talk, going through the trials and tribulations, I know what love is, okay? And I know what love isn't, okay? So I can tell the difference. Now, what does that mean? It means not a goddamn thing, actually, because it is an individual experience. But once you know, and words cannot describe it. So anyone coming to you attempting to describe it for you or kind of projecting on you, and that's fine, but be mindful of that because some people genuinely are just attempting to help, but at the same time, sometimes they need to step back, okay, and make sure that they are walking the talk, okay, not just wanting to sound good, not just wanting to get a lot of likes, not wanting to get a lot of followers, sell a lot of books, okay, subscriptions, blah, blah, blah. So, and then something else that I want, the reason I don't necessarily say where I get particular things from, because I want people to research themselves, figure it out on your own. You don't want anybody spoon feeding you what is what. You do have to experience it, is my point. And like I said, once you know, you know. And it's amazing. It's quite amazing. And words cannot explain. Okay, any more than, the love I experienced with my parents. I told you it was complicated too. It was, but I knew love was there. So that's why my parents didn't have to say it at all to me. Okay, I mean, like, I know the difference between self-love and self-hate. I know that from experience. Okay, each one has to experience that on their own, however, because it is an innermost feeling. It's an innermost emotion. It's innermost. It's something within that words cannot describe. But I know it when I see it, when I hear it, when I feel it, sense or receive it. All my sensing, especially with reason and being rational, and it makes sense. It's not obsessive like, it's not that creepy obsession. It's not that creepy stalking. It's not throwing somebody on a pedestal and just worshiping them. It's a worship, and it's sickening. It's a sickening feeling for those that usually view it. But somebody in that, they have no idea that they are sickening themselves while they're sickening others that know the difference between love and not. Unlove. Okay, if you don't like the word hate, unlove versus love. Or non-love versus love. It's being grounded in reality. It's being grounded in reality. And so many of us stay in our thoughts about, and our fantasies about stuff that's not even, doesn't even make sense. A lot of us spend our time in our fantasies about what we think things are, instead of experiencing it and going through the actions and behaviors of it. That's how you know. That's how you gain experience. And thus you start evolving your consciousness, evolution. So, anyone that thinks love is, these fairy tale, stuff that develops in Hollywood and in the fantasy land of Hollywood, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. And that's why there's so much that doesn't last in those particular type of those spheres of environment. That class of human beings that kind of roam around in that sphere. It's contradiction. And so that's why and a lot of people don't know that, like I said, you are evolving whether you are recognizing it or not. And so a lot of people are starting to get in touch with being grounded in reality, and they're starting to pick up contradictions. I can tell. And they are thinking, because love is thinking as well. With love you have to think it through. It involves thinking and contemplating and cultivating and understanding. Okay, is this reproducible? And a lot of people are realizing a lot of that stuff that they thought was love, it cannot be reproducible, because it's an individual process. That's why. But you can still be in love with someone with the actions and behaviors, like I said, with my parents, but know that it's complicated as well, because you have to continue to evolve and develop love. It's a continual evolution process. It doesn't stop. It does not stop ever. So the actions and behaviors of developing of love, genuine love, goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. And it doesn't stop. Understand? It doesn't stop. So again, like I said, I know what love is, and I'm at a base of my understanding that's still developing. However, so that's why I don't. It's not necessary that I say that I love someone, but like I said, a lot of people like to hear that. They like hearing it. Okay, but I'm not gonna say it if it's not true. That's my point. And that's the point I want to make. If I say that I love someone, I do. Nothing changes ever. Doesn't matter what they don't have to love me at all. Okay, but I love them, and that's all I need to know. And nothing else needs to be. There's no stickiness about it and no obsession. Even though I'm always thinking about love. I'm always thinking about this or that and the other. I think about people that I love, and I hope that they are, safe and protected and defended if necessary. That's what I think about. So that's what came to me, because I think I heard someone say, because I'm telling you, a lot of people don't realize how profound they are, and a lot of people see them as a menace to society, so to speak. But there's a lot of people speaking in logical and reasonable, rational thought, where their words are profound. Okay, which is coming from their mouth. They're not regurgitating. They're not speaking quotes from other people that they really don't understand. Someone said something about loyalty, and how, and I'm not going to say his name, but we all know who's saying things and who's not. He said something about he prefers loyalty over love, and that's honest. That's an honest statement right there, and that makes complete sense to me, because I told you love is a developing process, and so a lot of people don't like to stick around and understand what that means. In other words, if you are in a partnership with someone or in a marriage with someone, a lot of people give up on that developing. Okay, if you gain a little weight, okay, or you lose your job and you have no more finances. I told you what I said. What I saw with my parents is my mom and dad were there for each other through thick and thin, sickness and health. Okay, and my dad stayed there and was there until his last breath in the house. My dad died in the house that he bought for my mom and all of us, and took care of us and provided for us in that house. Okay, so it's a developing process, and you're not going to be able to necessarily understand it right away. But if you have someone that's going to support you in that developing, and be loyal to you, and committed to you, and not give up when you fail to bring in some income, or you fail to, especially if you know that this person is putting in the effort to build on something. So a lot of us are not going to find that, though. That's the sad part of it all. And maybe that's what others are meaning when they're rambling about it. It's a commitment that requires some sort of, it has to be some support there, and there has to be some loyalty as well, and some patience. And a lot of people don't have that. So that's why I say, maybe you don't, maybe you need to reconsider what it means to be, and you need to speak this with each other. You need to do all this stuff in the beginning, and recognize, what does love mean to you? What does love mean to your partner? Is there a common denominator there? Are you willing to stick through? Are you willing to stick with me while I'm do? Make people be honest with you about it, and see if you can pick up contradictions. And maybe this person is just wanting to get with you because of who you are, what your name, your fame, and everything in between. How they see you. Like a lot of people are in love with celebrity types. A lot of people are in love with influential types, and what this person looks like, what this person is wearing, this and that and the other. And, yes, it's good to have you. I mean, you do need to. And the person does need to have some pleasing. They need to be pleasing to your eyes. But what if something happens though to their appearance over time? So that's the kind of thing you need to look into. I mean, be aware of and conscious of. You have to be conscious, no matter what. You have to be conscious of what you are expecting and what your expectations are. And be honest that you don't know what love is. Okay, but I am developing to understand love more, and the actions and behaviors will reflect that for me. Not in just sitting and reading about it, or sitting, rambling going off on it about, what love is and what isn't. Okay, I'm telling you, I know what love is, and I know what love isn't. That's based on my experience and how I've evolved and developed myself. Now, each one of us has to go through that same process. I told you we were created out of love. Okay, this planet was created out of love. The Big Bang did not just happen. There was an idea or thought to that. Okay, and so I wouldn't get so concerned about all of this when people talk about affectionate love versus what's that other one? All those terminology. I wouldn't get too caught up in the terminology about stuff, because I told you a lot of our words do not have the proper meaning anymore. If anyone's been paying attention, a lot of words that we held dear have changed underneath our nose by the so-called know-it-alls, the so-called experts, and then they want to infuse what it means, like happiness and being successful and generating income, like those things, so you individually, you have to pay attention. But I suggest you listen to a whole lot of people. That way you can give your thoughts something to work with. You cannot get it from one person. And if you do, you're going to get yourself in a stagnation, and you're going to eventually be so despondent and depressed, and who knows what will happen. A lot of people are going to be despondent. Like, as I said, that's why you need to be gentle when they realize they have been following bullshit and following nothing more, nothing less than cult leaders that may be disguising themselves as religion. Okay, let's just be clear and effective about that. Or they are, genuine, bona fide cult leaders. It says, without love, nothing can be created. No transformation can occur. Love is necessary for all change. Okay. So it's a process. It's forever. As far as I'm concerned, it's forever. It's a development, just as evolution is. Okay, so a lot of people are going to have a wake-up call, at certain hours of their life, and realize how much they didn't know, and how much they may have floundered due to, living in fantasy and not being grounded in reality. Okay. So enjoy the process is my point. Enjoy it. It's so fascinating. It is so fascinating to know. And that's why I say self-education is so important. Do not waste your time, but if it's a choice. And listening to these people that they throw in front of the television set, or even on the social media platforms, or on some of these in the social media galaxy or the internet galaxy, when they're rambling about love. Okay, I know it's more than that, and words can't describe it. But I'll do the best I can to make it clear and effective, though, as to how I process it and how I develop from it, and how I can help others do the same. But it's about, like I said, with love, you have no, with genuine love, there is no room for hatred. I mean, there's no room for it with genuine love, because it all is neutralized together. It's all there in one. Okay, and so those that know what it is can know what it isn't. Okay, you don't have to say it's hate. You don't have to, but I know when it's non-love. All right, so I wanted to get up this morning. I'm going to say more about it, but I wanted to get up this morning and just kind of clarify things as to what I'm saying, so that I disseminate clearly and effectively, and know that it says here also, based on some of the stuff I'm being taught. It says love is the absolute certainty that one lives with and coexist with everything. That includes fauna, flora, fellow human beings, in every material and spiritual life form, no matter what kind, and in the existence of the entire universe and beyond. Okay? So take the time to experience it and see if you can cultivate it somehow in your thoughts, so how it makes you feel. Does it make you feel good inside? Are you raging and going off the handle and blaming people for this or that, saying to yourself genuinely into your innermost that some people should not be alive? Can you imagine someone saying that? Or these people should not exist? It's about having some empathy for people, and understand that we are all going through something. And that's what it says here. Love is the absolute knowledge and feeling, the absolute perception and empathy, and communion in original form with all existing life. Okay, so it doesn't say, oh, you know what? I don't like the color of their skin. They don't, I don't like their sexuality. I don't like their gender. I don't like their career. I don't like their music. I don't like their food. I don't like their culture. Okay? All right, so I'm going to stop right there. I got a whole lot more to say, and I'll probably come back again later. I'm doing this because I love this. I'm doing this out of love. Now, what does that mean? Well, sometimes things are hard to swallow. Sometimes the truth is hard to swallow. But if you are working and developing your innermost being, it will reveal itself to you. Okay? All right? So I'm going to go ahead and send peace and love all over the stars and moon and mountains. And trust me, I'll be back.